Well, obviously it's not just another game, it's a big game for us. But yeah, we've been in this position before in the previous years, and we've got some experienced boys that know how to handle the week, and they've definitely looked after our younger fellas. But yeah, look, it's been, in terms of training, it's as normal, and you've got to keep it as normal just to keep the guys' heads in it, and so they don't play the game too early. But yeah, we're really looking forward to what will be an exciting game.
And Bill, for you, the same thing, I guess, been here before, but this season with the ups and downs, do you feel like you're carrying some momentum into the grand final after last week?
Oh, look, whether we're carrying momentum in or not, I've been really pleased with our last 2 weeks after an absolute shocker against South Fremantle 3 weeks ago. I've been really pleased with the players' performance over the whole year. Their ability to separate what was going on off field to what's going on the field, makes me really proud, and they deserve their chance to have a shot at Subiaco. So look, we'll just be out there doing our very best, and sometimes that's good enough and sometimes it's not.
Billy, does that feel like it's driving the players a bit? What's the club going through? That the more that they win, it helps West Perth get back on their feet, that sort of thing?
That's really hard to answer, Barra, because we've actually never really talked about it. What we've talked about is being able to control what we can control. So the conversation never really went to this is about helping the club and all of that stuff. It's about playing the very best football we can. But I guess if you wanted to ask Aaron or any of the other players, then I'm not always going to be the one to know what they're thinking. And the way Aaron wears his socks, I definitely don't know what he's thinking.
Aaron, apart from the socks, just grab that mic. Is it something that is driving the players? The fact that you're not only the underdogs, but the club's under siege at the moment, and whatever you do is going to help bring back this great club to where it should be.
I'm not sure if we think about it too much. I know that it's definitely unified us. Probably in the way we're playing and having those things going on, it's definitely brought us closer together. So. Whether that has an impact on the way we perform, it might, but we're definitely a really close, tight-knit group, and that sort of stuff's brought us together.
And Scully, can you tell us what did you make of the performance of West Perth at the weekend, and the big turnaround? Did it surprise you, and what did you take out of it?
No, it didn't surprise me at all. Obviously, we watched their first final, and it was probably just one of them days, for West Perth. It just didn't go right for them, and obviously South Fremantle played really well, but. Look, going to that game, after playing South, we knew that it was a tough game, and we knew South would have to get out of the blocks. And to West Perth's credit, they're a proud club, and we knew they were going to respond. Watching from afar, but they were impressive. And look, we're really looking forward to what will be a tough contest because. Nothing's guaranteed in life, and I've said this to our boys. Just because we won 19 straight doesn't mean that we're going to walk in on Sunday and just be handed the cup. We're going to have to go get it, and. Against a side that have played really good football over the last couple of weeks and have responded and showed some good resilience.
Does that make you feel a bit more relaxed, I guess, given Billy, no one outside of maybe West Perth thinks that you can get the job done on Sunday?
Yeah, look, I'm really happy with the way we've responded. We are happy with our preparation. Really what other people think doesn't really come into the equation. It's not something that we think about on a weekly basis, and it's not something we'll think about this week. So what we can do is go out and play our very best football, and I'm really confident the players will do that against an extremely talented side, and everything's going to have to align for us to win. We fully understand that. But sport's littered with underdogs winning, and I guess we're an underdog, and if that's what people's opinion is, then so be it. That's what their opinion is. It's not going to change how we prepare for the game.
So you have a look at that first half between South and Subi in that final, and take anything out of the way South approached it, or would you wipe the slate clean?
I would think that there's some things to take out of it, and whether they're for discussion here is a different matter. What I think you'll notice with good quality finals footy, it's played at a different level to home and away games. So our performances the last 2 weeks, if you look at all the AFL games that have been good in the final so far, if you look at South's performance in the first half against Subi being able to withstand that and get away with a win, it's not the same. We'd like to say it is, but the stakes are higher, the intensity's higher, the pressure's higher, and it's the sides who can cope with that for longer that will come out on top, and that's what we're trying to achieve, and I'm sure Jared and his guys are trying to achieve the same thing.
We're about playing on a completely new ground? I think that levels the field a bit as well, because neither of you have been here, and there's no real advantage. So who knows what happens on an MCG-sized ground?
Yeah, look, that's a great unknown, and again, it's not something that's really going to enter into our thought process. Am I happier that it's on a neutral venue that no one's played at? Probably. But it's new and exciting, and it's a wonderful stadium, and it's a wonderful opportunity to showcase WAFL football on a big stage, and that's more important than where we play, and we just hope that it's a cracking game and we can play at our very best and take the challenge right up to Subiaco.
Kyle, for you, I mean, the last 2 grand finals, and then Scotty mentioned winning 19 in a row. What's the mindset? How do you control all of that heading into a grand final?
The mindset's probably a good reality check that we know there's, nothing's certain and you can't take anything for granted. I think we found out the last 2 years, especially last year, where I think Jared and the coaches laid out a great plan for us, and then we executed it as well as we could, and we dominated a lot of areas of the game, but we didn't kick straight, and they got the result. So we understand grand finals, everything has to go your way. You have to get the bounce of the ball, and hopefully on the weekend it goes our way. But I think, as Bill said, all we want is a really cracking contest, and we're up for it, and I know they'll be as well.
Missing the sound over medal, does that, you can't really be more fired up for a grand final, but does it give you a little bit more of a prod to sort of, you know what, I need to make a statement or want to make a statement?
Is that me? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, is it Jared? Sorry. No, absolutely not. I think Giles a deserved winner. He had an incredible year, and I thought the back half of his season was probably a step above everyone. We saw that when we played him. I think he nearly carried him over the line to beat us, and if it wasn't for a couple of really good efforts from Lee Kitchen and Chris Field in that game from us, they probably would have got the chocolate. So, he had an incredible year, and I don't play footy for individual accolades. It's all for team success, and that's the Subi culture. It's been from the moment I walked in the door, and nothing's changed since. That's what we believe in, that as good as flattering and as proud you are of your individual accolades, it's the grand finals, which is what you play for.
That's the team mindset. I mean, ultimately, your teammates doing so well. I think Subi had half a dozen with 25 votes or more. So that's ultimately cost you, but it is team, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think all them guys deserve the votes they got. They had incredible years. I think Lachlan Delahunty probably, if he was a midfielder, inside mid, he would have won the award by a street with the year he had. I think he averaged over 25 touches and was kicking bags week in, week out. But as we know, it's tended to be a midfielder's award, and it's unfortunate for him. But the year the guys have had has been incredible. Obviously, Jared sets a standard that he wants everyone to follow, and the guys just buy into that and believe in that, and that results in playing good individual footy, but most importantly, good team football.
Jared, as coach, do you have to find any more tricks for Sunday, or is this group so well drilled that your job is done by now?
I'm going to steal a bit of Clarko here. No, look, the old system, your methods and what you go about, what you do week in, week out, I think will hold us in good stead. If you start getting fancy at the pointy end of the season in the last game of the year, well, then you'll get found out. But look, predictability amongst the individuals and amongst the team is paramount. So, look, if you get too fancy, you're opening yourself up, but we'll just play our way.
We heard again, would this be your last game as coach?
I don't know. We'll find out in the future, won't we? But I know one thing I'm focused on is making sure that hopefully we get across the line so we can win a premiership.
We heard from Bill about playing on a different ground. What's your take on it and from Subiaco's point of view?
Oh, it's a fantastic stadium to play at, so I'm sure the boys will be excited. I know as a coach, as you walk into the coach's box and it's exciting. And look, it's unknown, but our guys, I think, are professional enough to go out and play. But they'll be excited about the prospects. Look, we've put things in place over the last few weeks with our training to simulate, dimensions of the ground and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, look, it's similar shape to probably what both grounds that we both play on week in, week out. So all it is got a few more seats, and we'll look forward to it.
Aaron, just as a player, will you get on top of the stadium before the game's played? Will you get a chance to train or run around at all before game day?
I actually don't. I don't think we get a chance to go out there. So for both sides, the first time we go out there will be the 13-minute warm up on game day. So the boys best take it in pretty quickly because we don't have a lot of time before we play.
Just a question to both coaches on selection. Same with you, Jared. You've got an embarrassment of riches in terms of players to choose from. There are a few boys running around in the resis that will be pushing for league selection. So there are going to be some hard luck stories. But again, it gets back to that team ethos, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is, and like I said, we're fortunate enough that our twos are playing early in the morning at 8:40. But look, it'll be interesting to see what we do with selection. There's probably realistically a 5 or 6 additional players from our final 22 and our first final that could definitely put a case forward for selection. And we had a few boys obviously play on the weekend in their final. So look, it's going to be a long night at selection tonight, that's for sure. And but I'm sure we'll pick the right side and with good balance and versatility. And whoever does pull on the jumper has definitely earned it, that's for sure.
And with the reserves playing so early, would you be tempted to hold out a player as an emergency?
Yeah, it's an interesting point you make. Yeah, look, we'll definitely discuss that tonight. But whether we do, whether we look at other, I suppose, contingency type plans. Worst case scenario, if someone did go down the warm up, the blokes that missed out on both grand finals might have to be called in if it was that urgent or that type of emergency that we had to. But look, you got to have plan A, B, and C, and we'll look at that. But I'm just super proud that we've actually got 3 clubs playing in the last day, obviously of the season, in 3 grand finals.
I don't think anyone's ever won all 3, so there's a chance to create some history there.
Yeah, well, obviously, history will tell us, whether we do, and if we do, it'd be fantastic to have it by the club and what they've been able to achieve. But at the end of the day, we know things aren't guaranteed, and we're going to have to work hard in all 3 grades. But obviously, with the league one, we're going to have to be at our best for sure.
Billy and Jared, as coaches at clubs, we like to talk it up as a bit of rivalry, and the clubs hate each other. But you two are sitting there like going for a coffee afterwards. Is there a bit of spite between the 2 clubs? Or give us something.
Well, we could go back to the hippie club if you wanted us to. I mean, if that's what you're asking us to do. And go and see your photo up on the wall, Mark, as the founding member of the hippie club. Now, what I know, and I guess in my time being involved at the Subiaco Football Club and unfortunately got on the end of a couple of losses from West Perth, and I know Jared probably from where he grew up, and his dad's a mad West Perth supporter if I remember correctly. It's a real rivalry between our playing group because our zones butt onto each other, and a lot of the kids go to school together. They live across the road from each other, and whilst there's been some things that off the field probably look like there is a fierce rivalry, there's a lot of friendships between the 2 players, and sometimes when you play your friends, it's like when you play your brother in the backyard, it gets probably more heated than if you dislike people. So that's real, and I think supporters of West Perth and supporters of Subiaco have come to learn to hate each other, and I think there'll be a really good atmosphere here, and hopefully the stadium will get relatively full, and it'll be a really exciting day for WA football.
Do you approach this game like it could be your last at club?
Look, when you're a coach, you're probably asking the wrong people. I'm sure Jared's the same. The focus is so much on the players and the club and the team that I don't spend a lot of time worrying about Bill Monaghan, and I'm sure Jared's the same. It's all about the players and the support staff and the club in general. But it's the end of a season. I'm uncontracted, therefore there's a chance it's my last game of coaching the West Perth Football Club. Make of that whatever you will.
Hey, Scully, tactically, I heard Buckley say about this ground it's a lot different from other grounds, and Fremantle got over the back of them a few times. It is a lot different from playing at Subi or wherever else. Do you tweak anything, or do you try to work it out, or is it just, given you've never been on the ground, never played here, is it hard to do anything really?
Look, I was fortunate enough to put my feet on it last week, but literally just on it. And obviously on face value, it's going to be a firm deck. But not too hard. Even watching the AFL games, you do see certain things that the ball does, a little bit different to the grounds that we play on. So that's probably the main thing, is that how the ball will obviously be handled. We got to get used to that. But in terms of dimensions, like I said, we put things in place to accommodate that. And then the other thing, obviously, you got to factor in is because it is that more enclosed than what we play in. How the ball travels throughout the air. You go to an Etihad game compared to an MCG game. So just little things like that. As Blakey just said before, that in that 13 minutes or whatever the time the boys get on, they're going to have to get used to the wind conditions and how the ball bounces and stuff like that. So they are better prepared when the game really starts.
Bill, just on personnel, 2 late outs for your team last week. Ben King, I think, and Steve Patenti, where are they at? And the boys that replaced them did quite well in Rudy Riddick and Tyson Moulton, so you'll have some dilemmas as well.
Yeah, look, that's one of the beauties of grand final week. It's really hard come selection, but it's really exciting, and unfortunately someone's going to miss out. The two guys who came in last week I thought were fantastic. Ben King had been crook all week and we gave him until Sunday morning, but he just didn't feel as though he was right to play, and Tyson Moulton came in and played a really solid game. And Rudy, when we told him about 15 minutes before the game, Steve actually tweaked. He's got a bit of a back issue and his hamstring just got tight. We went and told Rudy to suit up, and he was on his way to get a burger, and he didn't actually believe us. He goes, "Oh, you're pulling my leg." You just, "No, Rudy, we need you to go and change." And again, he was fantastic. So Steve and Ben are both available. That's our take, and we've got to get through the main session tonight. So we probably don't have a bigger list to pick from as Jared and his crew, but we've got at least 24 that we're going to fit into 22 tonight, and that's going to be really tough. And then in grand final week, you really like to let the players know as early as you can so it settles their nerves. But I'm not confident that when we leave tonight I'm going to be fully set on my 22. So that's going to be a tough week for a couple of guys.